Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today. Legal Aid Society of Cleveland is the law firm for low-income individuals. This nonprofit firm handled 11,000 cases in Northeast Ohio last year. Its executive director, Colleen Cotter, is here to talk more about the services and types of cases that it handles. Then we'll also hear from Terrence Spivey, the artistic director of Karamu House. He'll tell us what to expect for the theater season at Karamu. And later in the broadcast after that, Randy Brown of the City Mission will talk about programs geared to children. Good morning. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope. And so we beginning with Colleen Cotter, Executive Director of the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland. Good to see you, Colleen.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's always good to have you here. Refresh our memory. What is the Legal Aid Society?
The Legal Aid Society, as you said, is a nonprofit law firm. We represent low-income people in civil cases. So we focus on cases where something really important is at risk: housing, safety, income.
Mm-hmm. What kind of cases do you handle? All kinds of cases?
We handle a wide variety, not all kinds of cases, but a wide variety. We focus on representing tenants from preventing eviction, foreclosures, domestic violence cases, and other family law cases where kids are at risk, and then a whole variety of cases that impact on income, from public benefits to making sure people get their wages, education cases, immigration, a wide variety.
Now, this is for folks who may not be able to afford their own lawyer at their own expense. So
that's right.
For low income, income.
Right, for low income people.
Yeah. What do they say when they come to you? Do they realize that they need a lawyer when they knock on your door at the Legal Aid Society?
Well, it's really interesting. We find that most people who have a legal problem, it starts as, they see it not as a legal problem, but as a problem. They see it as, I might be homeless. I need help. So they might go to someplace else. They'll go to a community center. They might call their pastor, another community leader. And so we try to train those folks about the cases that we handle so they can make good referrals to us.
You have volunteers who do the work for you?
We have a staff of 53 attorneys on our staff, and we also have 1,800 volunteer attorneys throughout the 5 counties that we serve.
There may be somebody out there who's listening, watching right now, and they say, well, maybe I need to call the Legal Aid Society because I'm in low-income status, they may say. What's the process?
There are actually 2 good ways to get access to our services. One is to call our intake line, and our intake line is open 5 days a week, and you can just call and make an application over the phone. Mm-hmm. Or you can go to our website and look at the locations for our advice clinics, which we have most Saturdays somewhere in the community, and you can just walk in on a Saturday morning and talk to a volunteer attorney. Mm-hmm. And if it's the kind of case that we can take on, we take it on.
You're located on West 6th Street.
That's right.
Right in the warehouse district downtown?
That's right.
Well, what's your address on West 6th Street?
1223 West 6th Street.
And we've got a phone number of 216-687-1900.
That's right.
That's the phone number. We got that on the screen. Or you can also go to their website, LAS Cleve Legal Aid Society, LASCLEV.org, and get more information on everything we've been talking about. Do a lot of people make mistakes when they have a legal concern, saying, well, I'll go in the courtroom and I'll argue my own case?
Unfortunately, they do, in large part because they don't know that there's another access. And going into court when something important is at risk, like your housing or your safety or your income, is a big risk. We see it especially in the foreclosure realm, when folks are even short of even going to court, when they're trying to deal with these big institutions, the banks, the loan servicers, and they're not getting anywhere, and servicers are telling them, oh, sign this or sign that. Doing that without the advice of a lawyer can get you in worse shape.
You and I were chatting before we turned on the cameras for this broadcast, Kaleidoscope, that the organization, the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland, is 106 years
That's
old.
right.
You must be doing something right. You don't hang around for 106 years. Your organization, not you, but your organization hang around for 106 years. It's got to be doing something right.
I think we are really valued by the legal community, by the philanthropic community, and by our client community, because what we do is we give voice to people who don't have a voice, and we allow them to stand on equal footing with people who have money. Our justice system should not depend on whether you have money or whether you don't, and we try to even that playing field.
Still there is a cost in going into court or dealing with things. How does the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland get the money to continue to keep its doors open and operate as it does?
I think what we are is a good example of the public-private partnership. We get government dollars, federal dollars, and we also get philanthropic support from foundations, from individuals, from law firms, from corporations. So we bring all of that together to provide for the services that we provide. And when someone comes to us, we do not charge them anything.
So if somebody wanted to write a check to the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland, that check is acceptable by you?
Well, absolutely, and we would be happy to receive it.
Just drop it in the mail at 1223 West 6th Street?
That's correct.
Or go to the website, and I'm certain you can get more information on this.
Absolutely.
You continue to do this. There is a gleam in your eye when you talk about this. What is it that keeps your passion up working with the Legal Aid Society, where you've worked for several years?
A number of things. I went to law school to do this work. I wanted to represent low-income people because I view the justice system in our country as an important component of our democracy. People need a voice, and I wanted to give voice to the voiceless. And now working at Legal Aid, I'm not representing people anymore, but I get to support my colleagues who every day are doing great work, saving people's houses and keeping them in employment. It's an amazing group of people, and it's terrific to get the support we do from the local bar and the difference it makes in our clients' lives. That's why I do this.
What standard do you use to establish when somebody is low income or not?
Essentially we use the federal poverty guidelines. We use about 125% of the federal poverty guidelines. That means for a family of 4, an income of $28,000 and below. Our clients can't afford to hire a lawyer. They can barely afford to pay the rent.
So if they just make a phone call, sometimes they can get the answer over the telephone.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes what people need is to understand, what are my rights? What are my responsibilities in this situation? And we can advise them so that they don't misstep, so that they can prevent the legal problem. And then if they're already confronted with a legal problem, they've been served with eviction papers or foreclosure papers, that's when we can step in and represent them.
There is an attorney in the house.
That's right.
And we've got to keep that in mind. Colleen Cotter is Executive Director of the Legal Aid Society. 687-1900 in the 216 area code, as you see at the bottom of the screen, or LASCLEV.org. More information on everything we are talking about. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, Leon.
Good to see you.
You too.
On the broadcast. I'll take a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. This is Kaleidoscope. We'll talk about Karamu and its new theater season after this. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope, and glad to have you aboard today, as always. Karamu's award-winning artistic director is here this morning, and Terrence Spivey is here to tell us what to expect at Karamu House, a great theatrical location.
Yes.
In Cleveland. Good to see you, Terrence.
Glad to be here, Leon. Glad to be here.
Things are going well at Karamu, I know.
Everything's going well. I must say that we just, we end our show, our running production of The Shadow Box today at 3 o'clock. We're in collaboration with the Cleveland Clinic the past 4 weeks of the run. And I must say, the more and more, I was always aware of this, but yesterday we had a post discussion, and a lot of the people there had a lot of questions about dealing with death and that whole thing. We had the same thing from breast cancer to Broadway last year in collaboration. And the more and more I look at it, I realized Karamu is not just a theater. We got 3 other programs. We have the outreach program. We have the daycare. We also have the Saturdays program and the after-school program. And it's an arts education institution.
And it is a gemstone in Cleveland.
Yes.
You've been at the Karamu has been here for about 100 years now.
Yes, in 2015 we're gearing up for that.
Gearing up for the 100th anniversary.
Director, yes.
Located at East 89th Street and Quincy Avenue, one of my favorite places in all the world.
Yes.
Just for me, just great theater.
Yes,
I just love going. And your theater is typically mirrors what's going on inside the black community.
Exactly.
Civil rights struggles, all of that over the years.
Exactly. It's so unique because we also see it as edutainment.
Edutainment.
Edutainment, because you see these people walking out at the post discussions. I'm realizing that it's not just the young people and the youth, but a lot of the adults are being educated, coming out after seeing these plays that we've been doing. So I'm just amazed at the community on how they see Karamu House because we do serve the community, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. We've got a placard here, which I'm going to hold up, and maybe we can get a shot of this on camera number 3. Now you're getting ready for the new season.
Yes,
new season is coming.
Yes.
Now, what's hot this year? What's hot this year?
They're all flames.
They're all on flames.
We have Black Nativity coming up December 9th. Richard Morris Jr., our wonderful set designer, who just got an award at the National Black Theater Festival, best set designer in the country. He's directing that production of Langston Hughes' signature piece of Karamu. Then we got The Bluest Eye, February. Toni Morrison's book, adapted by Lydia Diamond, and a lot of schools are buying the houses for that. And of course, God's Trombones opening in March.
I saw God's Trombones a couple of years ago. Just a wonderful production. Just a wonderful production.
Thank you.
Biblical, but very entertaining all along the way. Lots of music and all of that.
And then, of course, August Wilson's Gem of the Ocean. And that reason why I say this about edutainment in terms of a lot of the schools for these shows are buying tickets right now. Gem of the Ocean, August Wilson, he's like considered the Black Shakespeare of this country. And, of course, Toni Morrison's Bluest Eye.
What is it that keeps the folks coming back? We need this in our lives, don't we? We need art, this kind of thing, art in our lives. Man cannot live by just bread alone.
There you go. What keeps them going here? You got the Jallops there. The meaning of Karamu House in Swahili is a place of joyful gathering. There's a particular spirit at that institution that draws people in. Of course, the funders in the community, and then the artists, of course, sees that.
You've got something called the Rid All. What is Rid All?
Rid All. That's by the gentleman Damien Forrest. He is a series of comic books about this young alien that flies down into this neighborhood, black neighborhood, and he's teaching kids on about greening. And we just, we talked to Damien about it, and of course he had it adapted into a play. And of course Damien Forrest is also the cousin of Randall McShepard. And Randall is also involved with that piece. It opens January 16th. I'm very excited.
My good friend Randall McShepard who won the BPA Award, the Black Professional of Cleveland Award just the other day.
Very excited about that project. Well, it's for the youth theater series. So all the productions, I mean, from the youth theater to the main stage and the daycare, the after-school programs, is all about arts education. That's the true mission.
Now, folks can get on the subscription deal, save money, and go to all of these things if they make a phone call. And let me put a phone number on the screen of 216-795-7070, as you see, or you can go to karamuhouse.org, karamuhouse.org, and get more information. And once again, Karamu means?
A place of joyful gathering.
And it is a joyful gathering. Whenever we gather at East 89th Street and Quincy Avenue, you can get just wonderful, wonderful entertainment. I can't believe it's been more than 100 years.
Yes, 2015.
As long as I've been around, it's been here long before I got started, long before my parents got started. Karamu House was there.
Good
to see you, Terrence.
Likewise.
Always good to have you on the broadcast. Get me back on that stage. I've been on the stage a few times, and I'm always looking for another stage. For
all right, there you go.
Acting. Thank you, Terrence.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the broadcast. I'm going to take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. In a moment, we're going to return. We're going to talk about a special city mission program after these words, especially. Glad to have you with me on Kaleidoscope today. Thanks so much for joining us every week on this broadcast. Pathways Family Outreach Center of the City Mission provides a variety of activities for children and adults. Program Manager Randy Brown is here to talk about the center and its programs. Good to have you with us, Randy.
Good to be here, Leon. Thank you.
Refresh our memory now on the role of the City Mission.
The City Mission is one of the specialties that the City Mission does is meeting the needs of the community, and we meet those needs through 4 ministries. One is inmate outreach services, and that's, of course, where we contact all the inmates that's inside of all of Ohio. And then we have Laura's Home, which, of course, does the women and the children for those who are homeless and in crisis. And then we have a Crossroads Men's Ministry, and we, of course, we do any men that comes up off of the streets and that are crisis or either coming home from jail. And then finally, there's Pathways Family Outreach Center, and we do families and children before they get into crisis.
Thank God the City Mission is there. A long time, located at East 55th and and Carnegie Avenue.
Yes.
Thank God the City Mission is there. Now, you're the program manager for Pathways Family Outreach Center. What does it do?
Pathway Family Outreach Center ministers to the families and to the children of the community. We provide all kinds of services. We have adult clubs and we have children's clubs. And again, one of our specialties is meeting needs. And what we've come up with this year is we've come up with a department called Music Connection. Music Connection came as a result of one year program director my director came to us and said that we wanted to be able to meet the needs of what's happening inside the school system. The school system is kind of dropping some of their programming. A lot of the arts programming that used to be inside the school system is no longer there. When we were coming along and going to high school back in the days, you could take music, you could take graphic arts, but some of those things are gone now. So we've come along and we're trying to fill that gap. And so we have a program called Music Connection, where children can come along and get free music lessons. All they have to do is just be a member of the City Mission.
Just be a member of the City Mission?
Just be a member of the City Mission.
Now, is this open to anybody?
It is open to any child that's involved in City Mission programming with no charge.
Get involved in the City Mission programming, then you can take some of these music classes.
Absolutely.
Tell me about these music classes. What do you teach?
Obi Shelton leads us. He teaches violin and viola.
My good friend Obi Shelton, who works for the Clerk of Courts, used to be with Channel 3, and before that was here at Channel 5.
Absolutely.
A wonderful journalist and a wonderful violinist.
Absolutely. And you talk about a crafty musician, excellent musician, loves his craft, and loves the children. He teaches violin and viola and just directs the music department. After that, we have 3 other instruments. We have drums, we have piano, and we have guitar. Any child, anybody that's involved with the City Mission can take those music lessons free of charge.
Now, what do people have to do to get in line to do that now?
All they have to do is register, free of charge. Come down to the City Mission and just sign up. We have an after-school programming from 2:30 to 5:30 for children. We have a Saturday club that's on Saturdays from 10 o'clock to 12:30. We have a teen program that's from 6 to 8:30, and then we have 3 adult clubs. They'd be involved in any one of those clubs, and they're eligible for the music lessons.
You've got a lot going on. Let me put a phone number on the screen, 431-3510. You can get more information in the 216 area code.
Absolutely.
More information, or you can go to thecitymission.org/pathways, thecitymission.org. You can get more information on everything we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Why is this so important to you, Randy Brown?
It's important to me because I grew up in Cleveland, and I'm a product of the Cleveland public school system, and I know what it is to come up in a city and be a part of a city, whereas things were back in the 50s and the 60s, things were available for us.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, as you look back, and you can see a lot of things that's missing out there. You can see too many of our children that's ending up in jail, too many of our children that's falling through the cracks. So it's important for me to give back and make available to some of those things that was there for me. When I came up, you could go to Woodhill Park. There were guys up there ready to coach Little League baseball. There was always somebody there for you. Unfortunately now, too many of our people are so busy, nobody's taking the time to get back.
Right. It was a wonderful time.
Absolutely.
It was a wonderful, I'm a product of the Cleveland school system, and it was a wonderful education that I got that will stand up against anybody else's education in this country.
Absolutely.
And we've got to get back to some of those things in the school system.
Absolutely.
But until we get back to all of those arts programs, you are trying to fill that void through this Pathways Music Connection program.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely right. And our goal, of course, again, is to come alongside and just holistically wrap around some family. There's a lot of things that's missing in the family today. You know what you do, the news stories. You've been doing it for Cleveland for years. You've covered the city. And there's a lot of things that's just missing in the family. You don't have the mom, you don't have the dad, and you don't have the incomes in there. So a lot of families, unfortunately, cannot afford to go places and pay for music lessons. So why should that child miss out? Why should that child not have the arts? Why should that child not have an opportunity?
Yeah. And the City Mission there at East 55th and Carnegie Avenue on the east side of Cleveland. We're right on the corner there. A beautiful, beautiful facility right there. Several buildings together.
Absolutely.
You still are taking clothes donations there?
Yes.
Financial donations, especially during the holiday time. We need to remember people who are maybe not as fortunate as
the
some of us.
time is right now. Absolutely. We're in our biggest holiday season right now, whereas the needs, of course, are great. And so, yes, the time for donations is especially needed right now.
So people to get in on this Music Connection program and the Pathways Family Outreach Center, which does a great deal to help the family, not only music for the children, but in many, many other ways, spiritual components component involved, all of that, they need to contact the City Mission.
Absolutely. The City Mission will never waver in its commitment, of course, to sharing the gospel. That's first and foremost, which is one reason I sincerely believe that why God is blessing the place. But we'll never waver in that. But then absolutely, besides that, then we're going to come alongside and we're going to help kids connect to the arts. We're going to connect them back to music. We're going to connect them back to programming, put them in a structured atmosphere where they have something to do, something constructive that will also prepare them and prep them to go to school.
City Mission has been there for decades.
100 years.
100 years.
Yes.
We've got a bunch of 100-year organizations on the broadcast today.
Absolutely.
Doing the right thing. Randy Brown, thank you so much for being on the broadcast.
Good to be here.
Good to see you, my friend.
All right, thank you.
He's Program Manager for Pathways Family Outreach Center of the City Mission. Thank you so much. Its phone number is 431-3510. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League with a commentary after this. Here now is Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League. She's the president and CEO who always brings us a commentary.
Hi, Leon. How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm doing fine.
Well, you know, Leon, we're coming up upon the Thanksgiving holiday, which is one of my favorite holidays of the whole year. I think that we want to keep a thought of Thanksgiving for all the blessings that we have all year round, but particularly at this time, I always really take a concentrated look at all the things I'm thankful for.
Yes.
And certainly I want to encourage our audience. We know we have a lot of folks who are in the faith and church community in our audience, and so I just want to encourage our audience today to just take time out to think about family and to think about the many provisions that we have. We have a roof over our head. We have food on our table. We're able to do some things. I think that we just need to stop and take time to be thankful about that.
Thankful about that, and remember the people who perhaps do not have
exactly. That was where I was going next.
Yeah.
Yes, because as we're so blessed, we want to take time to reach out to others who may not have those things every day and share our blessings.
Well, I am personally thankful for all my ancestors, for Mother and Dad who are now both gone, and all the ancestors and what they breathed into me growing up. I am thankful for them, and I know that they're really nearby. They're all right around, right here.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they're very proud of you, Leon, as I know mine are of me. And I think it's important to take time to say thank you to the people who have enriched our lives, because we never know when it may be the last opportunity we have to do so.
Isn't that the truth? Well, I'll tell you one more person I'm thankful for.
Yes.
And that's for you, Marsha Maccabee.
Oh, thank you, Leon.
It's always good to have you on the broadcast.
Yes, I am for you as well. Thank you.
She's a dear friend, a good friend. Many thanks, Marsha.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday season.
You too. You too.
That's going to do it for Kaleidoscope. Marsha and I appreciate you being with us. I'm Leon Good. Be well.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.